Israel Arbeiter was 14 years old when the Germans first entered his city of Plock, Poland, in early September 1939. One of 5 boys, his only crime was that he was Jewish. First came the German army, then the SS and Gestapo.
And people started to disappear. With the occupying the city by the SS, the occupation forces, and depriving us of the civil rights, at the age of 14, I was declared a slave, condemned to death for the only crime that I committed because I was born to Jewish parents.
Arbeiter and his family remained together in Plock until 1942, when the Nazis adopted the final solution of the Jewish question. All Jews were to be exterminated, either worked or starved to death or gassed in the concentration camps.
We were ordered out from our homes, leave everything there, assemble in the marketplace where a selection took place. The young and those that were capable to work were taken on one side. The very young and the elderly selected on the other side. We were, myself and 2 of my brothers, were selected among the young ones to go to work. My parents, my father, my mother, and my 7-year-old brother were sent to a death camp to Treblinka, and they were murdered by gassing and cremated. That was the most horrible day of my life, which is still with me. Seeing my parents for the very last time, knowing that I won't see them anymore.
Arbeiter, younger and stronger than most of his fellow Jews, survived 2 more years at a forced labor facility. In 1944, as the Russians moved west, the Polish teenager was given a one-way ticket in an overcrowded, wretched-smelling cattle car to the most infamous of all the Nazi death camps. There was absolutely no doubt in his mind he would die there.
We arrived, I remember, early in the morning, and we could see inside people with the striped uniforms. And now we knew that this is Auschwitz. There was a selection by the infamous Dr. Mengele, who, with the movement with the point of one finger, decided who's to live and who's to die. So that again, there were 2 columns, that those, in his opinion, are capable to work, and the others went one direction, and we went the other direction. We never saw the people that were in the other column again. You're in Auschwitz now, and the only way out of here is through the chimneys. 18,651. See, they had in Auschwitz, they went to 200,000. Thus, these were the numbers only of people that went into the camp. The people that were killed didn't get any numbers. And Auschwitz was the only camp that they gave numbers. To know that such a place ever existed on this planet, operated by human beings, by a government, the atrocities, what took place there is just unbelievable and cannot be described. And when they have little kids between 5 and 10 years old that were walking, they made them walk, from the selection area to the guest chambers area. And when they closed the door of the guest chambers, and you hear those little kids banging on the walls, on the doors, screaming, yelling for their mothers, to no avail.
In April of 1945, Izzy Arbeiter and any survivors left at Auschwitz were sent from the camp in Poland to Germany, where the Nazis planned to eliminate any remaining witnesses to their death camps. A month later, however, the German army surrendered. There would be those alive who could tell their stories.
5.5 years under condition, under God, and being ordered and being told what to do and live under the worst condition. And now, what does it mean to be free?
Izzy Arbeiter's parents and younger brother died in the concentration camps. Miraculously, 2 other brothers survived.
Over here, this is the box cars that we came in with. And over here, as we came out from the box cars, was the assembling of the people right here. And that's where Mengele or one of the other doctors performed the selection. Now, when the selection took place over here and the groups were divided, we were just ordered to walk, or we didn't know which direction, which one is going where. My column was ordered to walk right here, this way. As we were walking here, this line, we were guarded on both sides by assessment with machine guns and dogs. And we were walking, as you can see, that long walk there into the unknown. We just kept walking all the way to the very end, and that's where the tragedy begins over there. That comes back to me even after so many years, what took place here. When they came and people in the gas chambers were busy, which was practically on a daily basis, the people sometimes you see were sitting in so-called the waiting area until there is room for them in the gas chambers to be able to go in and to be killed. And so this is called Brzynki, and that's they were sitting and waiting. The waiting room, can you imagine? The waiting room to be taken in to be killed. Oh, there's so many stories to tell from here. If this area, if these trees, if this ground, if that ground over there could only talk. What took place on this area is just unbelievable, undescribable. See this here, these bricks? Crematorium 3, Crematorium 4. This was Crematorium 4, and this is where they were bringing up the bodies. The people that were working in the crematoriums were hardened prisoners that were working in every single day, and they knew what was going inside. And sometimes they even worked on bodies of their own relatives. But they said the hardest and the most difficult thing was when they had to do a transport of children. When you had children walking up, little children up till probably about 10 years old, and when they also nicely, quietly helped them into the gas chambers, and those little things were crying and screaming for their mothers. You know how little children are. And then when they closed the doors, they were banging, the little kids were banging on the walls, on the doors, screaming for their mothers. And Sergeant Moll throwing the gas, and quite little by little, the noise inside quiet down, And one by one they lay down there on the cement floor and went to sleep. This was the oven, right over here. That was the narrow walk to the bunks. The bunks were located like this, 3 tiers high. Right about over here was my bunk, where I was laying over here. When the trains arrived here, we came out from the trains. My family was murdered, my father, my mother, my 7-year-old brother, and I was here. And then in 1944, at the end of 44, and this is a very good thing that the people are doing, that bringing you here. Well, it is to learn, so the young people can learn and know what took place, because you are going to, with all your beautiful faces, you're going to be the leaders, the future leaders of Slovakia, and leaders of the world, the United Nations, the leaders of the world. And you might have in the future the power to prevent a place like this to exist. So again, it's an honor for me to speak with you, to meet you. Enjoy the day, enjoy your life, and go home and tell your parents, your families, what you learned, what you saw here. And remember that only good people can prevent a catastrophe like this, what took place here, from happening again. Learn what you see and remember what you learn. Thank you very much. Thank you. I still cannot imagine today that this is the truth, that this is what happened here in the 20th century, in the heart of Europe, in one of the most culturally advanced countries, that people could commit such atrocities.